Green? Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And good morning, this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you've joined me this Monday morning, the day after Easter. I hope all of you had a very blessed Easter celebration. I used to love going to Easter Mass in San Francisco. Up on Nob Hill, there's a huge church up there called the Grace Cathedral. Grace Cathedral. And on Easter Day, just before the service begins, there are priests outside the door with a big piece of wood, and they knock 3 times on the door. And then someone goes and lets them in, and then they process in. And the ritual of Easter is so nice. Everyone's dressed up in their best dress and best suit, and little kids look beautiful because they have all of their good clothes on. It's a really wonderful experience, and I love those kinds of traditions for me anyway. And I hope that we can get back to some of these traditions. Well, I was getting prepared for this podcast, and I came across an article. Now, before we get into the article, I want to preface it by saying that over the years of all of these political elections, I have always said, be careful on the bloggers out there because they're very biased and they don't tell the truth all the time because they never fact check. They're not, no one ever fact checks them what they're saying. And so we get really bad misinformation out there. And you have to be careful of some bloggers because some bloggers lean way to the left or sometimes they lean way to the right. There's never any of those individuals that are middle of the road. I'm having a hard time speak this morning. I tell you, I don't think my coffee that I bought has enough caffeine. So I'll have to research this serious situation because the words in my mouth are not working this morning. So I've always said this, and I've always warned you guys that bloggers is not the source to build your argument on because they don't have the ability to refine their message, because their message is based upon how they see and how they view the political situation. So you have to be very, very careful about taking that information and thinking it's okay to use, because a lot of times it's really not sound in its facts and not sound because it's biased. So you have to take them very carefully. Now, they're fun reading and everything, and I read them also, but I never use them as part of my research. However, this morning I got a article, and I'm trying to see where it comes from. TechSpot. The Whitehouse, Biden, is thinking about creating a room in the White House just for social media influencers, I should say. These are individuals who have a little bit of influence with young people out there on social media. So he is going to use these social influencers in the White House to spread his message. Now, we already know that the majority of the message that's coming out of the White House is nonsense. They're lies. So now he's going to use social media through social influencers to spread this nonsense even further. I want you to know how dangerous this is because they're trying to get to the young voter. And the young voters, I'm sorry to say this, don't take the time to really research the information. The data that is being thrown at them. the news sources that they are using. And yes, sometimes, since they are bloggers and vloggers, sometimes they don't tell the truth. And they're biased in one way. So this is why the White House is now considering opening up a special room just for the social influencers to get the information out there from the White House. Now, if you take a look at what Trump has done, Trump has used social media to his advantage. And it has worked very well for him. But the problem is that that's him. That's just him that's doing it. He's not using the youth. He's not using any of these people. He's using just his, Truth Media or Truth Social, I guess is what it's called, and also other social media outlets, Twitter and Facebook and every place else. But when you start taking the youth and using them, and using their, what they call the dominance in social influencing of young people's minds out there and thought process, we have a problem. Because now we are going into manipulation of young people and manipulation of what is not true, turning it into a truth based upon influencing. We have to be very careful about this. Anytime that we start seeing actions like this, we have to go back and start thinking, okay, are these individuals thinking for themselves before they write their vlog or record their vlog? Or are they just taking the information from the White House and just slinging it out there? No verification process. Nothing. So I think we have to be very careful about this. This is my opinion anyway. Now some of you may disagree with me. Some of you might even tell me, hey, we have got to do the exact same thing as the Democrats. We've got to fight back. There are better ways to fight back. Let me tell you, there's better ways to fight back if you want to do that. But creating bad news or bad information and using it to influence the youth of America, I don't agree with this. I think it's bad. That's my own view. Now, some of you may say, Mike, this is a modern world. You're kind of old, Mike. Go sit in your rocking chair and shut up. I don't care. I don't have a rocking chair, by the way. I wish I did. I think that once we start using social media to manipulate the information going out to the public, we have a problem. If you want to state facts as a candidate, go ahead and state them. But don't use social media to influence minds, because minds of young people don't do the full analysis before they vote. They vote on how other kids are talking about, how other young adults are thinking about it. So we have to be careful. I love the young people of today. But we got to use a method to reach them and to talk to them as if they are adults and not social media influencers. Now, if they're going to use it to talk about Jill Biden's dressing, then that's what social media influencers do, right? They talk about how people look and how they dress and all that other stuff. Leave politics out of it. I saw an interesting article this morning. A few weeks ago, Starbucks started to put olive oil into their coffee. Yuck! I mean, who in the world would put olive oil in their coffee? So now customers are saying, we've been drinking this olive oil coffee and we keep running to the bathroom. Well, of course, oil and coffee, that's what happens. Coffee can do it by itself. Olive oil is an additional fuel. So when you mix coffee and olive oil, you're going to get a really powerful fuel, and you will be running to the bathroom. Some years back, I had a kidney stone. I don't know if you've ever had a kidney stone, but they are very, very painful. They are no fun whatsoever. And I went to the emergency room. In fact, I had to drive myself to the emergency room all by myself. No one came with me. So they gave me some medication, and they said, "Well, you're going to have to wait for it to pass." That little visit to the emergency room cost me $6,000 to tell me I will have to pass. So I went back, and thank goodness for Google. So I went to Google, and I said, I asked, what's the best way to pass a kidney stone? Do you know what they came back with? Cranberry juice and olive oil. So you think about this. Starbucks customers are having a problem running to the bathroom. Well, when you mix cranberry juice and olive oil, it does the same thing. And sure enough, when I started drinking that, all I had was 2 glassfuls. And sure enough, it passed. And I was so surprised to see that it was only a little itty-bitty spot that was creating all that pain. I was pissed off. But I find it very highly amusing that people would be buying this stuff from Starbucks and not thinking that there's a consequence. But yeah, there's a consequence. When you mix olive oil and something else together, you're going to be running. And you're going to be looking for a bathroom as close as possible. Life is funny, isn't it? I just think about us as human beings and what we are willing to try and think it's as healthy as can be, but yet there's a side effect. And that side effect is, you're going to run to the restroom. My goodness, we people are funny human beings. I tell you, you can sit back and you can watch people. And you can see what they're eating. And you can see how they're walking. You can see how they're talking. And you have a whole show right in front of you because we are very funny human beings. I love to go. There's a place in Greenville that you can go and you can sit and watch all the people. And it's very close to the falls in downtown. There's a waterfall in downtown Greenville. It's beautiful. And you can watch people there. And you can see people who are happy. You can see people who are sad. You can see people who have very deep problems in their life. And they go there because they want to be happy. They want to see something that's pleasing. And you can watch these people and how they walk and how they talk and how they interact with their families and their kids and their dogs. The dogs play a big part of the human being existence. I love during the summertime, right before the falls, there's kind of like a lazy river before it goes over the falls. And it's not very deep. And people take their dogs there, and the dogs love to play in the water. It's a nice experience. We're getting to that part almost. It's still cold here. Right now it's about 47 degrees. No, it's 40 degrees. I'm looking at the temperature at the moment. It's 40 degrees this morning. But we're going to get to those warm time summer days that you can go down to the Reedy Falls in downtown Greenville and watch the people really enjoy their lives on a nice summer day. Listen, if you have any business questions, send it to me. Go to thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com and send me a business question. I'll try and get you an answer back. And if you would like to set up a time to have some business coaching or business advisory work done for you, go to my website at www.lodge-co.com and you can schedule an appointment right online. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye.